Right here, you'll see that we have blackberry plants, and these are thornless blackberry. They're being deprived of some of their nutrients. And what we didn't know.
What you're looking at right now is our south facing raised bed that has blackberries and pepper plants in it. As you can see, this was a mistake that I did not know until it was too late, that you should not be planting blackberries and peppers together. They both feed off of the same nutrients, and so the blackberries really suffered while the peppers ended up thriving. So we are in the process of transplanting, removing the pepper plants, and we're going to be planting them in another area of our yard. And then we will plant something that is better accommodated, a companion to blackberries.
Today, I'm going to be transplanting my Thai Hawaiian chili and ghost pepper mixed pepper plant. So it's a Hawaiian chili that has been crossbred with ghost pepper. So it's a bit hotter than a Thai or Hawaiian chili pepper. Grows a little bit similar, but has ribs to, if you'll notice here, it's not smooth like a Thai or a chili. It's got ribs in it. That's part of the ghost pepper, because if you know ghost peppers, they're very crinkly and round, and they've got a lot of deformity looking to them. And so that's kind of where this is the ghost pepper part of the crossbreed in these Hawaiian chilies. So about 2 weeks ago, I trimmed these down to get ready to transplant them. And in a matter of like 2.5 weeks, they've gone from this tall back up to this tall. So they flourish. And part of the reason that I'm transplanting these is because right here you'll see that we have blackberry plants, and these are thornless blackberry. They're being deprived of some of their nutrients. And what we didn't know when my wife first planted these, we didn't realize you don't plant pepper plants by berry type plants, whether it be blackberry, strawberry, just berries in general, because peppers and berries draw the same nutrients out of the soil. The problem is that peppers are the dominant plant. And so what happens is they use all those nutrients out, which starves the blackberry bushes here of their nutrients. So I'm going to be transplanting these, and then we've got a bunch of strawberries in another area of the house that we're going to bring over, about 60 strawberry plants, and we're going to plant the strawberries in between all of our blackberries so that we can have all berries in this whole garden, so that they'll evenly draw the nutrients and they'll thrive a lot better. So one of the things that you want to do when you're getting ready to transplant, and this is normal practice as well, but you want to trim them back, because it's going to, when I get them and transplant them, it's going to put all the nutrients into the regrowth of the bush and not necessarily trying to sprout all these new peppers. So there's three things that I'm going to be doing. One, I'm going to be topping the plant. So I'm going to be trimming the top to get it down lower and smaller. And what that does, you can't see it now. It looks very healthy right now. But when I trimmed it about 2.5 weeks ago, there were some whitefly, there were some ants around some of it. And so trimming and topping your peppers usually is going to pull off a lot of those type of pests that have damaged some of the leaves. A lot of these leaves up here were kind of dead looking. It was still producing, still doing well, but it didn't look as green and healthy and clean as it does right now. As you can see, there's no whiteflies or anything on this plant. It is just super healthy. And that's because this is all new growth from when I topped it a couple weeks ago. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to be topping it. The second thing I'm going to do, because I'm going to be transplanting these into another hole, I'm going to transplant them a little bit deeper into the hole to get the roots deeper down into the holes I've dug. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bottom trim this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bottom trim some of the low branches and leaves, especially the leaves off of here, so that when I put it into the new dirt, it doesn't cause issues with possible rot or possible moisture getting up into these areas and damaging the base of the tree. And so I want to keep everything off the ground so that it doesn't get that underneath rot going, and also for like ants and stuff, because if anything starts to rot, or if any of this greenery, or if it sprouts and has any peppers, it's going to try and draw the ants and pests up into that area. So I'm going to trim all around the bottom. The last thing I'm going to do, because I'm transplanting it, I want all the energy of the transplant to go into regrowing the plant. I don't need it to produce right now because I've had a lot of peppers produced off of these. I've got probably 10-gallon Ziploc bags full of these peppers in the freezer. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and I'm going to pull a lot of the flowers off. And what that's going to do is it's going to put all of the energy into regrowing the plant and getting the branches and everything flourishing, because I don't need it to be producing peppers in a small plant. It's gonna restrict the growth of being transplanted and the shock of being transplanted, trying to put it all into the fruit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip these and pull not all, but a majority of the flowers off, and it'll come back within, I bet, probably within 3 weeks. This thing is going to be 2 feet taller than when I transplanted it. Next to this plant is my Carolina Reaper plant. I trimmed both plants at the same time 2.5 weeks ago. But as you can see, this is Hawaiian chili. We live in Hawaii. It flourishes really good here. This is a Carolina Reaper, which you can see it has flourished really well. But both of them were trimmed the same amount 2 weeks ago, and you can see how much more this plant here has grown than the Carolina Reaper plant. So I'm not going to have to trim as much on the Carolina Reaper up top. I will probably pull just a few little flowers, but you can see I cut it back pretty good. However, I am going to make sure that any of the new growth down here around the bottom, I'm going to be clipping all this new growth down here off, so that when I transplant this, that's not going to be in the dirt or under the dirt. I want to keep these leaves that are underneath here off of the plant, or off of the soil. So this one's trimmed up pretty good on the bottom. I'm not going to trim the top. I'll only pull the flowers off, but I'm going to go ahead and get this other one trimmed. Then when that's done, I'm going to start digging them up, and then I'll transplant them to the new location. And then I'm going to clean up this bed like I did down here last week. I'm going to clean up this other side like this here, and I'm going to bring some fresh dirt in. I've got a wheelbarrow of fresh dirt here. This is about 50%, 50 to 60% compost, and the rest is garden soil. And so I'm going to put a fresh layer on top of this to build it back up to the level it needs to be, so that we have some good fresh dirt. And I'll till this all into it. I'll chop this up, turn it up, and get it all blended in so I can get the nutrients in here. And then we'll have something fresh to put the strawberries in. And then I will get new drip lines set up, some sprayers in here, and I'll show you how to do that irrigation as well. You can see some of the white flies that have got on here. That's part of the good part of trimming this up, is so you can get all these white flies off of here before you transplant it to a new location, so you don't bring the white flies with you. And usually I'll come out here periodically once a week. I'll take a garden hose. That's why I have my hose out on the ground here. And I have a sprayer on the underside. And I will spray the underside of all my pepper plants to get on the bottom side of the leaves to wash off anything, any of the white flies or anything that may be coming underneath. I have tried neem oil. I have tried using pepper water. I have tried using soap and water. I've tried so many different remedies for the white flies, but white flies here in Hawaii are horrible. And the best thing I have found is just coming out periodically and washing down the plants. And so that's how I kind of keep the white flies under control. One thing I will do is I'm going to look as I get this trimmed down a little bit, then I'm going to search on the underside and see if I see any areas of leaves that might have white flies, and then I'll just trim those specific leaves off so that I have a nice clean plant. Any of the leaves that look like they might have some sort of any type of issues going on with it, I'm going to peel those off and leave them behind. I'm also trimming on some of these new growths. What I'm trying to do, I'll find where I have a split off on the tree, and I'll try and trim off that new growth right above a split off like this here. And that way there, it just can, it will pick right back up where it left off. I've got water, and I've got some of the soil that is the 50% compost, 50% garden. So this is going to be plenty rich enough that I don't need to add like any special fertilizer or anything like that, because it's already within all of this. So what I'm going to do is, if you look inside my hole, I've got this cleaned out with the dirt around it. I actually took a post hole digger and kind of dug down in there and left some loose dirt on the bottom for the roots to dig in. I'm going to put a little bit of this dirt in the bottom for the roots. And then I'm going to put some water in. That'll soak in real good. And I'm going to pull this. hold that up pretty good. A little bit more water in there. And then I can put some of the regular ground dirt to fill in the rest of the way around it.
Why not just use the other dirt? That's good.
I've got plenty of the good dirt in there. I'm just trying to get, this stuff will pack a little bit harder. The garden soil is more loose, and I'm trying to get something that I can pack tight so that it holds this from falling over. And this dirt here is the really packs down a whole lot better, and will really lock this in good.
Are you going to put any more dirt on top of it?
Yes, but I'm going to let it sit in some water first for right now. I've got this kind of like little moat around it. I'm going to just let some water soak into it good. Go get more dirt for this next plant. I think that'll do good. Yeah, that's pretty solid. And when I was digging that first plant up, had a couple centipedes come out of the ground.
That's scary because I don't usually use gloves.
I always use gloves around here. Okay. I've got this one. This one's held together pretty good. It's got a tighter root ball. Fill this one up. Okay, then I'm gonna go back to this one. Put this back over there. This is packed nice and tight. Good. Okay. I'll go ahead and fill in around this one just with some more of this, just for letting it wash in. Put on top of there. All right.
Now you got to put irrigation to them.
That's the next thing.
So as you can see, we got our new pepper plants planted. This is in our backyard. We have this lower rock wall. Eventually we need to do a retaining wall back here. We're just trying to start slowly getting things planted and cleaned up back here. But anyway, I think this will be a good home for the new peppers, or not new peppers, but the new location for the pepper plants. I hope you learned something and learned that you don't plant blackberries or any kind of berries with peppers. You don't do that. And so, anyhow, on some upcoming episodes, he's going to continue on showing you how he has irrigated these. And then also what we're going to do with that bed where these came from. I'm going to show you me planting the strawberries in there because we're going to have blackberries and strawberries in there together. So be looking for that. But if you want, I'll link a couple videos. They'll be somewhere here. I think they'll be over here. But anyway, I'll link a couple videos for you to check out some of our other things that we're doing around here. I've got the self-watering beds that we set up. They're not planted yet because I'm starting seed. I'm going to be having some upcoming seed starting videos as well. I try to keep these shorter for you so that they're not too long. And so, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And I thank you so much for watching. And if you like this kind of content, if you would be sure and like it and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified of all the future videos, and maybe even share it with somebody else who you think might enjoy this content as well. Aloha and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.